Good morning. It is April 30th, last day of April. This is the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly. Kyle Mountsier. Kyle, it's so good to have you back. Today we're talking about the same stuff we were talking about when you left. Tariffs.
Oh, no. Oh,
Different day, like that. Same word.
You know what's crazy? I was at the Pash Group's digital marketing strategies
Tell
conference
us
for the
everything.
last 3 days. First of all, amazing conference. Also, highest dealer attendance they've ever had, meaning like dealers are out trying to figure out how to solve the problems of today. Here's what was crazy. I was in a lot of sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the word tariff
Zero times. Only twice.
And it was like fleeting. It was like, all the things that are changing, like tariffs.
Yeah. Just another, day in the life.
People were really thinking like, oh, this is just another one of these 6-month rhythms that we have things that we've got to tackle as an industry. So let's get down to
you hear
the
me?
brass
Because I
tacks.
just lost audio again.
I can hear you.
1 minute.
Yes, I can hear you. Oh, no. He's struggling, people. It's okay. Nathan's coming in hot. We're hanging out.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Paul,
So,
I
so
can hear
tariffs
you.
twice?
Now you're muted, Paul. Can you hear me, Paul? It looks like he can hear me.
Try talking.
You can probably hear me really crappy right now, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
that's
hearing you
about
through
right.
your computer. This is great.
I'm going with my other setup again. Stand by.
Stand by. This is the great thing about live shows, because we do this live every single morning, and sometimes technology likes to do its thing. But in thinking about what we're going to be doing at a SoduCon in just a couple
For sure.
weeks, Nathan, we're going to be talking about topics that have like immediate impact, but also have long-term impact
Mhm.
on just doing business. And I was telling a bunch of people at DMSC, and it's a great conference for marketing specific, business development center, lead specific elements. But we've got things on culture, we've got things on leadership, on fixed ops, on operating the business at a global level, sales, and then we also have marketing tracks, right? So I think it's a place where whether you're a marketer, whether you're a fixed ops director, whatever you're doing, you've got a channel, a lane, and you can like cross learn. Can start to learn stuff from other parts of the dealership. So I'm excited about a SoduCon. Can't wait. We're trying to talk. Nathan, you got anything funny to say while Paul is running around his office?
I mean, I don't have anything fun to say, but stand by because we got some cool swag in, and I'll go show it off.
Oh
One
no,
second.
swag drop. If you can't see, Nathan's running around. He has pulled
So
up
these
the dope.
are the bags for a SoduCon. So
Look
this is
at that.
one version, like this amazing swag
Oh,
bag.
we got two versions
We got
of the
two
bag,
versions,
the swag bag.
right?
No, this is like a bag that you actually want to take home
Yeah,
and
right?
use.
This is
Yeah,
They're-
exactly.
Those are super cool. We got a bunch of hats in yesterday. I think scarves are coming soon.
Nice.
It's all coming together.
Yeah, and Glenn Pash was telling me, he was like, it's an event where he has understood. Oh boy, Paul's got some weird.
We're hearing you somewhere.
Now, you're hearing all kinds of stuff coming back.
We're
hearing
hearing all
echo.
kinds of stuff. It's fine. We'll make
Fixed
it.
it.
Fixed it.
Fixed it.
There he is.
I'm
Bring him
lurking in the back. I don't know how to get my. Hey yo! Last I heard that Nathan is sharing some of the swag bags.
Yes, that's it. He shared the swag bags. Apparently, hats came in yesterday. We're getting ready. It's like it's
Got a lot
everything
more
throwing
hats.
down. I was
Yeah.
talking to the soft space team. They're super excited about setting up and just talking to a lot of dealers in person. They're planning on coming. A lot of industry partners that are excited. I'm very excited about. Actually, Alan Crutch was like telling multiple people, look, go find videos of Claude Silver on the internet and get excited about seeing her in person.
Oh yeah.
He's excited. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Talk about making it very practical in business. How to take care of your people and watch them solve the problems for you. All the problems you're having, right? The pathway.
I
through
said
the
to a few
problems
people,
are
I was like,
definitely the people.
Claude Silver, the chief heart officer, and their first thing was like, yeah, they did the whole like dog eyes to me with like the ears sideways, and they're like,
Yeah.
what was that title again? Yes, chief heart
Yeah.
officer. Yeah. So
Yeah,
cool.
aka head of HR.
Yep.
She doesn't
Wow.
look at them as human resources, though.
Get into it
It's gonna
now
be
that
great.
you've been running around your office like a crazy person.
I know. I guess we got some news to talk about. But look, we really do want you to be at a SodaCon. Go to asodacon.com and you can see and hear all the amazing things, the sessions and schedule and all that. And 2 weeks away, so don't sleep on it. You know how this industry is. Until it's in the month that you're currently in, you're like, oh yeah. Like I was on the phone with Ben Stock yesterday. He's like, when is this again? He already committed to being there by Ben Stock. He's like, that's really soon. He's like,
You
I
never
can't wait.
know.
He's all fired up about it. I know. All right, let's talk about some news. President Trump throwing automakers a bit of a lifeline on tariffs yesterday, but it's not a free ride. His new executive orders are easing out some of the pressure, but only if manufacturers meet some very specific conditions. Automakers who build vehicles in the U.S. can apply for special reimbursement starting April 3rd, 2025. Wait, that doesn't make any sense again. Because
No,
it's April
it
30th.
is right, but it's
For the vehicles
retroactive.
Yes. So it's retroactive
thank you.
for the tariffs that already impacted the
they can
vehicles
get the
that
money
started
back.
coming in. They're going to be able to get it's a reimbursement for like what they're
Okay.
changing is going to be retroactively applied, and automakers are going to be able to apply those things back.
Understand that reimbursement is worth 3.75% of the MSRP for the first year, dropping to 2.5% in year 2. To qualify for the full break, though, at least 85% of the vehicle's parts have been made in the U.S. or a country covered by the USMCA. If a vehicle hits 50% U.S. content, the company will only pay tariffs on the remaining 35%, that gap between 50 and 85, instead of the full 50%. A little relief there. Parts themselves also capped. Companies can get reimbursed for components making up to 15% of a vehicle's value in 1 year, 10% year 2. Vehicles and parts must be assembled in the U.S. to qualify, and a new system for applying is expected within 30 days. At a Detroit rally yesterday, President Trump said, quote, they took in parts from all over the world. I'm sorry, I just had to do it for a second. And I don't want that. I want them to make their parts here. We gave them a little bit of time before we slaughter them if they don't do this. So
It's wild.
it's a complicated thing. I mean, you
it's
need a little bit of a
complicated
degree
thing.
just to get
Also,
through it.
in adjacent news, multiple OEM CFOs have been noted as creating GPTs to understand how this all works. It's like it's a new thing, you know. I
Yeah,
can't imagine like
maybe the only way you can do it.
accounting for the retroactive stuff and like how does that apply and do I make changes. A lot of these manufacturers already said like, hey, we're reserving judgment on raising prices on a lot of these vehicles, so I don't think there's going to be a bunch of change in the retail or wholesale side of stuff, but it may adjust like forecasts and what may be, you know, produced or how it's produced over the next few months. Still not like a massive change in it, but definitely, you know, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for not feeling like we're, you know, the auto industry is just going to get crushed.
Maybe, yeah, some consideration. Nathan, you started to chime in. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I put this thing into GPT about 5 different ways, trying to be able to understand it, and I still think I have not quite the full grasp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a complicated one, and it feels like, you know, it's a Band-Aid where we need some stitches for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of something that needs a Band-Aid or stitches.
Oh.
No. Oh, that's me. Hold on. Okay.
That's Nathan today. I know. 2 days in a row. Tell you what, this roadcaster is going to be the end of me. In news that hits a little close to home for me, General Motors has issued a voluntary recall of 721,000 vehicles that have their 6.2-liter V8 engine due to potential engine seizure, like full loss of power, affecting pickups and large SUVs built from March 21 to May of 24. The issue stems from a rod bearing damage caused by sediment in crankshafts with improper dimensions and surface finish. How about that? Dealers face backlog challenges, each engine swap. So for the engines that need to be replaced, 22 hours requires full replacements. They're not fixing them. They're just literally swapping the entire thing out.
Swapping the thing out, and it takes 22 hours. That's crazy.
GM inspections will begin first. Engines will have to receive, basically what they're going to do is they say, you bring the engine in, you bring the car in, and they're going to give it an oil change, replacing the 0W20 oil with a higher viscosity 0W40 oil, and then basically seeing how that goes. I have one of these engines in my personal vehicle. I actually just got an oil change, which is a shame because that would have been great if I got a double dip there.
Yeah.
But this is a major issue in any vehicle. They put a stop sale on them for like people waiting to have these engines delivered until they're inspected. So, just a really unique issue for a vehicle that's definitely on the more profitable side. These engines are in the vehicles that are the big profit makers for GM. So,
Well, I think if
get
you're at
through
a
it.
GM
I have to figure
dealership,
out what
it's
mine's
important.
doing.
Yeah, it's important if you're at a GM dealership to understand what's going on with this. If you haven't been communicated this by your leadership, or if your leadership and haven't communicated this to your entire sales staff, why, what they're looking at, or to your BDC, who's going to be fielding these calls going into the service lane, like that's the first place that you need to stop, that service BDC. But then if you're not at a GM dealership, this is an opportunity to look at, I might be able to draft some of this into a buying cycle for my vehicle, right? Because someone might not be able to buy that. So you got multiple opportunities here to drive sales and kind of compete in a market that's just ever changing. But 721,000 vehicles ain't no joke.
No, it's not. What do you think about, dealerships who may have sold one of these pre-owned? Obviously, they're all pretty late model. Say you sold one of these to a customer within the last 12 months. You at all and letting them know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's still, I think anytime you can get ahead of a customer getting the letter, better, right? Hey, GM, not us, right? It's not not our fault, basically, right? Without saying it's not our fault.
Yeah.
It gives the customer confidence that you'll always be there for them. And then if you're not at a GM dealership and you can help reserve that recall appointment for them, you'll be super sticky for sure.
Oh, you would be. I mean, it'd be pretty easy, I think, to execute this because it's just a very limited number of vehicles. And, people have questions. I think, we've talked about this. Like, imagine having a BDC where you just become branded as the place to call and ask your general auto questions. If you become the go-to, like, hey, we know you're going to have to deal with a GM dealer to have this done. But if you have questions, right, like we're committed to helping you service your vehicles, even if you can't have the work done here, we want to be your resource. And because the truth is, most people are going to have simple questions.
Yep.
And to get an answer to a simple question from someone you trust, like you said, going to be pretty sticky.
Yeah. Speaking of someone we trust.
I'm trying to think. Speaking of someone we trust. Yeah, we do.
Just a bright spot, and this is another one of those things of dealers being dealers, right? Well, during the Depew Lancaster Boys and Girls Club Spring Fundraiser, Herr president and CEO Scott Bieler made a surprise $50,000 donation through his family foundation. The gift honored Beth Ann Hollis, wonderful person, Herr's VP of Variable Ops and a club board member. The donation helps offset major funding losses for the club this year. Funds will directly support, obviously, local youth programs and services. Herr, in a statement, said, "We're so lucky to have both of these amazing individuals leading the way. And this is just the type of person that Scott Bieler is. And you want to catch him on More Than Cars, you can find their episode on Prime or Tubi or YouTube. Just search More Than Cars Herr, and you get to know Scott Bieler a little bit and how he cares for the community." Mike, one comment on this is there are a lot of nonprofits losing funding over the last year because of business instability and other businesses with less margin questioning whether or not they should be giving back to the community. And this is a place where I think dealers can really, really step in and fill the gap.
My favorite part of the story, and it might be more of an undertone of the story. So basically, Beth has been largely involved in this organization. This isn't an organization that Scott is involved with. Beth has been on the board. She's served them. And I think this is one, and Scott surprised even her with the donation. I think this is one of those things that when you're a leader, you support the things that your other leaders are passionate about, and you let them know that you have your back. So I feel like this is one of those moments where, Scott, through Beth, was able to invest in this organization. But I think more importantly, he showed her that he's got her back and he cares about what she cares about, which is, I think, a great trait of any good leader. So, and it shows. You look at the Herr group and the way they function and their leadership runs, and you go watch that More Than Cars episode, and you see how their people respond and what they do for their people. It's very clear that leadership is the reason for their success, and that the generosity is the generosity is even able to be given because of the great leadership. Like one has to come before the other one. And so like for those, I mean, not many dealers out here that have a hard time with this, but for those who think like maybe in the retail spot that dealers are about money and profit, it's like, but yes, that's how business runs. But this is what happens when you have good leadership, focus on your people, you get money, you get profit, and you can now share that money and profit with the organizations that need it most, that are serving kind of the least of these in our community. So look, that's the day, my friends. Last day of the month, everyone's in the middle of the close for sure. Close out strong. Go to asotacon.com, get your tickets so we can hit May running hard. We'll see you here tomorrow.